Let's get to Bondi Beach. Oh my God, just another horrific attack here. So we've got, basically, here's what we know. This was what, some 48, it was over the weekend.
First evening of Hanukkah.
First evening of Hanukkah. Bondi Beach, one of the most beautiful places in the world, there in Australia. 2 gunmen outside of a hotel take fire at a Hanukkah gathering and massacre at least 15 people, from what we know right now, multiple others who were wounded. We do know that the perpetrators appear to be a father and son, who this was released very recently by Australia, but we have some video. Again, I'm gonna warn everybody, it can be tough to watch. We blurred out any of the, any gore or anything like that, but just keep that in mind. Let's go and put that up here on the screen. So, it's like an idyllic location, and you have it was a Hanukkah gathering, literally right there at the beach near this hotel, and you can hear the gunshots there in the background. I mean, this is a very, very crowded tourist area, and you could see there just what it was like for some of the people who had to go through this, like lying low there on the ground. Oh my God, can you see the person like with their child, as a parent?
Yeah, stay down.
Imagine.
Yeah, just absolutely terrifying scenes emerging in a place that has some of the strictest gun control in the planet. And then this video emerged of this guy who either had a death wish or was completely confident in his ability that he was just not going to get hit. Mm-hmm. That was one of the more bizarre videos. Just a guy who's just an Australian who's like, you know what, shoot at me.
I think what's so disgusting here is just like the intention, right? You can see there in the video.
And
because it's one thing to read about it, but it's to see somebody like engaged and highly motivated to just mow down.
Because Australia has these tight restrictions on semi-automatic and automatic weapons, you saw him there in that footage with this bolt-action rifle,
right?
Whereas aiming, reloading, aiming, reloading, aiming, reloading, which hopefully at least reduce the number of people rather than if you're just spraying the entire beach.
Yeah, but I mean, we've got children who have been confirmed dead. We don't have all the identities.
A 10-year-old.
At least a 10-year-old. I mean, again, at a religious gathering, Hanukkah, it's just horrific. It's horrific.
The world has also been captivated by dramatic scenes of a passerby disarming. So this is Ahmed al-Ahmed, a man who was there just to get coffee with a friend at the beach, sees this going on, and let's roll the footage that has caught the world's attention.
Unbelievable. Yeah, you can see he's wrestled the gun out, points the gun at the guy. He starts to run away. I mean, who knows how many lives that he saved as a result of this. But I mean, oh my God. I mean, can you imagine the presence of mind and just the sheer reactive heroism to do something about this in the moment, actively approaching a gunman like this, putting your life completely there at risk and immediately disarming this person. I know there's a verified GoFundMe for Ahmed al-Ahmed, which is going out there. Definitely.
It's over 1.3 million.
Yeah, I mean, let's keep it going, honestly. Yeah. I mean, this is, he put his life on the line for these people. And so, look, you can choose to see, people always say that, you could see the, absolute destruction of this world and the best of the world all in the same incident. But.
So what we're learning about him so far is that in 2006, he moved from Syria. Apparently he was from Idlib, moved from Syria to Australia. He was a police officer, it seems like, back in Syria. His cousin was interviewed outside of the hospital. There have been interviews since then with his parents, extremely obviously proud of what he did. Briefly, there was an attempt to argue over his religion. You had kind of the Laura Loomers of the world, actually including Benjamin Netanyahu.
What?
Well, so Laura Loomer said this, and lots of other people on the right were saying this is a Maronite Christian, or this is a Coptic Christian.
This is sick. Why do we need to debate this guy's religion?
And here's what's crazy.
In the middle of him
Right, what are you doing? He's a hero.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter where he worships or whatever.
Yeah.
Immediately, an entire AI backstory around a guy named something Crabtree, like a made-up name. So people say, oh, his name was Eric Crabtree or whatever, and he's an Australian native. And there are articles circulating about who this Crabtree guy is, with fake interviews with his parents and his teachers and him. And if you didn't know any better, and millions of people did not know any better, they were circulating. They even got a community note at one point on the video saying, like, this was this guy Crabtree, which is a completely fictionalized, made up person. It also shows the lack of kind of literacy when it comes to the world. Like, Ahmed is one of the names of the prophet. It's in the Quran. Like Christians.
These two instances combined with Brown and this is a sickness. Honestly. I'm not going to be called Barry Weiss and call for censorship or anything like that. But I mean, I will call for. Look, I mean, let's blame some of the people here.
Sharpen up,
like,
people.
If you're out there, debating a guy's religion.
Also, Laura Loomer also circulated a claim that the shooter said Allahu Akbar and was a Muslim at Brown University. So, it's like every incident doesn't have to be grist.
Yeah, that's right.
For your own little grievance.
Project. Can we return just to Mr. Ahmed, just to like who he is as a person? Who cares about his religion? Ahmed al-Ahmed, by the way, was actually wounded and underwent surgery as of yesterday. So he's in the hospital.
And what makes
he was seriously injured, according to Australian authorities.
And it's obvious, but let's state it for his benefit. One of the things there are multiple things that make it such an extraordinary act of heroism besides the obvious. One is that there's two shooters. It's not as if I would have the courage to disarm one shooter, but if you disarm one shooter, you're good. Like, you've got the gun, incident is over. He knew when he did this that there was another shooter on the bridge who is targeting people all over the area. So he knows that not only does he have to worry about the guy he's tackling who's armed, but then he also has to worry about getting shot by the other guy, which is what ended up happening. Like, the thing that he knew was a likely possibility happened. Like, he very easily could have been killed. It seems like his injuries are not life-threatening.
Yeah.
But he was shot. It seems like he was shot right in the shoulder here. That's inches from ending your life.
Oh, he easily could have died. I mean, not easily. I mean, look. I mean, it's a miracle that he's alive in this instance. Just I cannot imagine the psychopathology of anybody out there trying to, debate somebody's religion or any of that. That's the last thing that all of us need to worry about, especially in a moment like this.
Right.
You've got a targeted shooting
like,
against I mean, that's sick. That's sick. Yeah. Targeting women, children at a Hanukkah gathering on Bondi Beach. And then, why can't it just be a horrific terrorist attack? We'll deal with that on its own terms, okay? It says whatever it needs to be said in terms of international politics, debates, gun control, etc. But yeah, just to go after the shooter is disgusting. Let's just get to the Australian police and laying out some of the details, what we know about these gunmen and the firearms that were involved. Let's take a listen to that.
There were two offenders involved in yesterday's incident. One is deceased. The second is in critical but stable condition in hospital at the moment. The offenders are a 50-year-old and 24-year-old male who are father and son. The 50-year-old is deceased. The 24-year-old is currently in hospital at the moment. As part of the investigation, we conducted two search warrants last night, one at Bondi Rig and a second at Campsie. The 50-year-old male is a licensed firearms holder. He has 6 firearms licensed to him. We are satisfied that we have 6 firearms from the scene yesterday, but also as a result of the search warrant at the Campsie address. Ballistics and forensic investigation will determine this morning that those 6 firearms are the 6 that were licensed to that man, but also that they were used in the offence yesterday at Bondi.
So that's what we know now so far. Australia has already announced, the Prime Minister, that they're going to try and to tighten their nation's gun laws. Remember, they already had some of the strictest gun laws already in the world after this ended up happening. So we'll see where that goes. But there's an Israel angle. I wish we didn't even have to cover this. But this, like, to your point about debating people's religion or whatever for a hero in the midst of an attack like this. Netanyahu doing the most Netanyahu thing ever and trying to insert himself and his war in Gaza somehow into this attack.
Yeah, and a few months ago at Drop Site, we did a story where I obtained a a set of surveys and research group findings that had been paid for by the Israeli Ministry of Foreign Affairs, where they did a bunch of polling and they did a bunch of focus groups, and they were trying to figure out what can we do to restore our image here around the world in the wake of this genocide. And it was the entire thing was leaked to me, and basically their conclusion was we need to ramp up Islamophobia around the world, because when we poll ourselves just straight across the board, we're not doing very well at all. But if we poll ourselves against Iran, or if we poll ourselves against Hamas, or we poll ourselves against, quote unquote, Islamic terrorism, then people prefer us to that. So what we need to do is put all of the attention on that. And so that's the context for a lot of what you're seeing of the messaging from Israel around the world. So you put up this next element. So Netanyahu immediately came out and attacked the government of Australia. So here's Netanyahu telling the government of Australia that it is their recognition of a state of Palestine that actually caused this.
On August 17th, about 4 months ago, I sent Prime Minister Albanese of Australia a letter in which I gave him warning that the Australian government's policy was promoting and encouraging anti-Semitism in Australia. I wrote, "Your call for a Palestinian state pours fuel on the anti-Semitic fire. It rewards Hamas terrorism. It emboldens those who menace Australian Jews and encourages the Jew hatred now stalking your streets."
We had an interesting counter-protest that was picked up by Australian TV, and we can add this in post. A Jewish woman came to the gathering because apparently now there are a lot of Israeli flags flying down there. She wore a kafaya and said, the reason I'm doing this is to protest the politicization of this killing. She's like, members of my community were killed. Actually, we can roll that here.
I came here today because I'm a Jewish person, because my family was murdered in the Holocaust, because I have community members murdered here.
Let's go.
And I'm being threatened with arrest for talking with the press.
Move, please.
Were there no Israeli flags here, we would not have Hanukkah here. Because this community has politicized this tragedy, we are standing here because the flag of Israel represents the genocide. All Jews are entitled to mourn.
Come on, man. I need you to
Take away
It is a political act by, let's assume that they did pledge allegiance to ISIS. So it is necessarily going to be politicized. But Netanyahu jumping in and trying to make this about support of a Palestinian state, ISIS and the Palestinian resistance have nothing to do with each other whatsoever.
Yes.
Like they are hostile to each other. In fact, what's his name? Yasser Abu Shabab, the guy that writes for the Wall Street Journal and was, killed recently, who was kind of running the rebel group. He had closer ISIS links. He was aligned with the Israelis. They were trying to prop him up as this alternative to Hamas. He had closer links with ISIS than Hamas does. Hamas is hostile to them.
So ISIS has hated Jews since its founding, right? To say that it's just about Palestine seems kind of ridiculous. So.
But they've also never attacked Israel.
Right. Yeah.
So
exactly. Right. So
this would be maybe their first attack on even a Jewish gathering. Usually they attack on the West,
either
Christian gatherings
Christians or fellow Muslims
or
Muslims.
Shia Muslims.
Yeah. Look, we don't know. Still a lot of stuff that's going to come out, about this entire thing. Also, anybody who, murders dozens of women and children at a religious gathering is a psychopath who doesn't usually have a coherent political ideology either, right? So,
what kind of dad is this? Jesus.
Look, well, yeah. Well, I don't know. Do they have the death penalty in Australia? Hope so. Okay, hope to see it. But at least just me. All right. I don't know. I just think at the very least what we can say is to praise the heroism of Ahmed al-Ahmed and just to think about some of these.
We'll put the GoFundMe in here.
Yeah, we'll put the GoFundMe down there. But, also, look, 15 people, women, children, massacred at a religious gathering. no matter what kind of religious gathering. Who cares, right? It's sick. It's completely sick. Hey, if you like that video, hit the like button or leave a comment below. It really helps get the show to more people.
And if you'd like to get the full show ad-free and in your inbox every morning, you can sign up at breakingpoints.com.
That's right. Get the full show, help support the future of independent media at breakingpoints.com.